So after spending a lot of time in trials going solo all the way to Cantina Legend, I think I can say this without a doubt. Embark Studios finally made changes that actually matter. No dramatic, no revolutionary, but necessary and honestly overdue. If you have been taking trials seriously in Arc Riders, you already know what the biggest issue was. Your rank didn't fully reflect how good you were, it reflected how lucky you were with timing and poor RNG. The game basically required you to be online at specific hours just to abuse the 2x multipliers and choose the best event for specific trial. Let's take this week's Open Arc Probes challenge as perfect example. The specific map event where you can open the most probes and secure a top score spawns only once a day at 6 am in my local time zone. It's absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, spawn RNG could easily ruin a perfect run. Getting a late or bad spawn on the map meant you had to waste a run, wasting your precious time. You still had to bring the perfect loadout and play with high skill to survive, but on the top of that, you were forced to optimize when to play just as much how you play. It was a joke. Season 4 directly addressed that. Trials are no longer tied to map conditions, which means your progression is now based on your runs, no external factors. That alone makes the system more competitive in a meaningful way. They also removed the double progress tied to mile conditions. At first glance, that looks like a straight nerf, and technically it is, but from a system perspective, it stabilizes progression. No more spikes, no more waiting for optimal windows. Just consistent output based on performance over time. For rank mode, that's the healthier foundation. Another important change is how trials fit into overall game. They now start earlier in the season, and more importantly, you can progress them during expedition window. This is small but impactful because before trials felt like a separate layer, now it's integrated into the core gameplay loop. You are playing the game and progressing at the same time. That reduces friction and makes the grind feel more natural. There is also a general push toward more variety in challenges. We don't have exact details yet, so it's hard to speculate the real impact, but the intent is clear: reduce repetition and make the system less predictable over time. Whether that actually improves high-level play will depend entirely on execution. And then there are the rewards. Season 4 introduced an African outfit, which on paper is fine, but if you read closely, it looks like players in Hotshot and Cantina Legend are getting the same reward again, and that's a problem. Because of that level, the whole point is uniqueness. If the top tiers don't feel distinct, motivation starts to fall apart, and for rank mode, that's not a small issue. Now, are all these changes enough? Probably not. Because there is a bigger problem in the system. They don't fully solve the gap between solo players and coordinated squads, and leaderboard balance is still something that needs to be observed over time. But what this update shows is a shift in direction. Less randomness, more consistency, more respect for player time. And if you are actually pushing trials, especially solo, you know how important that is. Because a rank system should reward repeatable performance under equal conditions. Not availability, not timing, not luck. So no, Season 4 is not a breakthrough, but is the first version of trials that feels intentionally designed to be fair, and instead of Baradium, what I feel is now something else, just fatigue. But honestly, it's great to see that Embark is finally listening to players' feedback, trying making the changes we basically asked for. I really hope this update brings more players back to trials and makes this mode popular again in the future. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. See you in the Season 4.